What's up, mortgage coach community? This is number 2 of the TCA A Day Accountability Mastermind. This is a very different show than we've ever done on Mortgage Coach. Usually I'm interviewing someone. Sometimes we'll have a mastermind with a bunch of folks, but usually it's pretty linear. It's either scripts, it's interviews, and think of this as like a live mortgage reality show, where there are loan officers on this call that are here to do a challenge called TCA A Day Challenge. And then there are coaches, and those coaches are here to give some coaching advice and hold them accountable to doing a TCA a day and to achieving whatever their personal goals are. So right now it looks like we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 challengers. We may have another one come in. We got a full hour here. I'm Dave Savage, CEO of Mortgage Coach. I'll jump in when I think I can add some value. We've got Deborah Bird, social media consultant and just general badass, that will jump in and give some good ideas to take your content, put it on social media. We also have CEO of Win by Noon, Todd Bookspan, who will jump in with some coaching advice here and there. Welcome, Deborah and Todd.
What's up?
You know, it's always good to be here. You know, my second time seeing it today, Dave. It's good. But look at this crew we have here. Like, it's good to see all of you.
Right on.
As Fetty Wap would say, squad.
And then we have the one and only Jeremy Forcier. For the new loan officers on this call, this guy is a legend in the mortgage coach community, does over $200 million a year in mortgage volume. Plus he mentors and coaches 50 plus loan officers. So he's also a core coach. So he's been doing discipline coaching for a long time. He gets coached, he gives coaching. Today, he's going to be on this call as a coach. And Jeremy, I thought it'd be cool just to watch you have a conversation with everyone, knowing how many people we have. You know, probably needs to keep between your interaction and their interaction to about 6 to 7 minutes. And then give Todd and Deborah, I don't know, a minute or two to debrief on the coaching sessions. But Jeremy, I'll hand it off to you to go first. And if you could start with Walt. It was Walt's idea that we do this TCA Day accountability session. So Jeremy, rock it out, bro.
Walt, you're in the hot seat. What's up, man?
In the hot seat. I'm ready, dude.
So here's my favorite thing before we get started is that I have 3 guys that I work and partner with on here too that we'll get to. And what's funny is they were all asking me, so what are we talking about? Is there anything you want me to prepare for? Absolutely not. I don't want there's no preparation. The preparation happens before we ask the question. So thank you everyone for being on, seriously, and for trusting. We're going to help a whole bunch of people. And I got some great stats to go over. So Walt, first things first, honest answer. Are you actually doing a TCA every day?
Last week, no.
Thank you. First of all, everyone give him a round of applause. Okay, listen, because lies, the accumulation of small lies that we tell ourselves is what stops us usually from greatness. So that's fantastic, man. I love it. So talk about how the TCA day has been going so far.
So last week, the reason no is because I was out of town Thursday and Friday. And then Wednesday, I was getting prepared to go out of town. So Monday and Tuesday, I did 5 between Monday and Tuesday.
Awesome.
So that was good. So far, the challenge has been going well. Monday, of course, yesterday I came back. I didn't get a TCA done, but I have a list of them to do today.
Why didn't you get a TCA done yesterday?
I was playing catch up.
Okay.
So
everyone write this down. No ketchup, just mustard in the mortgage business.
So right? I had no mustard. The store was out of them.
Yep.
But no, I didn't. I did not get one done yesterday.
Okay.
And I'm going to be brutally honest. So yeah. So
thank God, because then I don't have to be brutally honest. So that's fantastic.
I don't have to. So we're supposed to go over numbers, leads, TCAs, credit pulls, pre-apps, apps. So in the last week, I had 15 leads, 5 TCAs, 6 credit pulls, 6 pre-apps, 5 actual applications. So 6 pre-quals, and I had 5 applications, 5 that went to deals, and 1 closed loan last week.
Cool. Awesome. So quick question for you, and I'm going to move on to Jody, and I'm going to circle back on this, okay, because I got some data that I'm looking for from you guys. So
Perfect.
as far as how many leads you got to TCAs you did, what was that number again?
15 leads. And I did 5 TCAs.
So you got 16 and you got 5, and then you got, how many of those were actual applications?
So 6 were applications. I had 6 pre-qual apps.
Cool.
And
Excellent.
then 5 that went into deals. So into actual applications.
Perfect. So 5 TCAs for basically 11 deals, including pre-apps.
Correct.
Great. Thank you so much. I'm going to come back to you. Jody,
Jeremy.
what up? How you doing? You know what I love
Good.
about this? I had no context to this whole call, and this is my favorite way to do everything. So I have a quick question for you.
Yes.
Same thing. Number one, how's the TCA day going for you? And have you done one literally every single day since you started?
At least one. Yes.
Look at that. Awesome. Cool. So tell us about your results so far.
Well, I have my team doing the challenge as well.
Okay.
And there's 4 of us on the team, and we've done 36 TCAs in the last week. So that's an average of 9 a loan officer.
Excellent.
10 leads total. This is just me, 10 leads this week. In the last week, 4 of them were generated from the TCAs that I did.
Okay. Excellent.
Let's see here. 6 full loan apps.
Okay.
6 credit pulls,
Cool.
and then 4 closings for the team this last week.
Awesome. Very cool. So how many apps? So 6 apps, and how many TCAs did you do personally?
Personally, I did 14.
Okay. This is interesting. Cool. Excellent. Awesome. What has been the biggest difference you've seen so far, if any, doing this challenge?
Well, I do probably 1 to 3 TCAs a day anyway. We kind of got started late last week. We started on Tuesday, so I'm really looking forward to seeing what next week's numbers look like.
Cool.
But for my team, I have new loan officers on the team, and they're just learning mortgage coach. So it's been really good watching them, get creative with the TCAs. I had one of my newbies, she created a TCA that I had never even done before, and we kind of had to walk through it together, but it's really pushing them. So it's been great.
I love it. Or do they hate it or like it? Like, is it like eating canned spinach for them at first, or is it like eating like an amazing linguine clams for them?
Linguine and clams. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Except for one of them. I do have one loan officer that's been in the business for over 20 years, and she has never done TCAs before.
Yeah.
So we are definitely pushing her, but we have a prize at the end, so she's a little bit more motivated now.
Awesome. I love it. Very, very cool. Cool. I'm going to come back to you. I'm going to come back to everyone here. I just want to start with some data stuff. So excellent job. I'm going to go to Mark next. Mr. Mark, first of all, love your shirt. It reminds me of Riff Raff the rapper. If you don't know who he is, check him out. Straight up.
I will. Now I have to.
Awesome. So number one, have you done a TCA a day every day since you started the challenge?
I have. I started the challenge last Tuesday. We got 9 done, and we've got 3 that are still outstanding. And I promised Dave that I'd hit 300. Those 3 are the ones that are going to allow me to get that elusive black belt. So I'm excited.
Heck yeah.
Can't wait to interview you when you hit that, brother.
Love it. Excellent. So tell us about your experience so far in doing them. Is doing a TCA a day new for you?
It is. The intentionality behind it is definitely new.
Yeah.
I signed up, I looked back, it was May 26th of last year. And I basically made it between February and end of May before I was like, I can't keep up. I need mortgage coach. And so since then, it's honestly, before I present options, I have to look at a mortgage coach, because a lot of the options that we're presenting, they're between a couple $100s between each other. And I need to be able to advise my clients. I work with a lot of first-time home buyers, and a lot of my clients really rely on me on, well, what would you do? And so until I know what the numbers are and kind of the period of time, and now we can measure it, which is what's so powerful about Mortgage Coach. Now I can go into that presentation with full confidence, knowing that we've got the best option for our clients already laid out for them.
I love that. I love that. By the way, this is another just nugget tip for anyone. who's listening and or watching and everyone on here, my favorite question from any client of all time that I try to shoot for recurring is, what would you do, Jeremy? It's the best. That means you have closed. The close is done, right? The bow is on it. So that's awesome. I love that takeaway. Can you give us a little background on your leads so far, like apps, if you have it, and if you don't, it doesn't matter, by the way.
I had to get them put together this morning, but I got them done. I'm like 97% sure in these. So there's a little like 3% lie in here somewhere. Cool. We've got 19 leads since last Tuesday. We've gotten 11 credit pulls, 4 pre-approvals, 3 new applications like contracts. And then we've had 2 closings, and it added up to 9 TCAs. So we've got a couple that are outstanding still.
So 11 credit pulls, 9 TCAs. Interesting. Awesome. Very cool. Thank you so much for that. I'm going to come back to you as well. All right, Mr. Brad Hall, one of my favorite people in the world. What's up, man?
What's going on?
All right, man. So how has been doing a TCA a day for you, and has it changed anything for you? And by the way, for Brad, Danny, and Robert, I like literally have all their numbers dialed in like so crazy. You have no idea. So we'll see. They don't even try to fib anything, okay? Because I got them all. I spent an hour this morning going through everything. How's it been doing a TCA a day for you, Brad?
You know what? It's been my fault, really. I need to do a little bit better here. I'm looking at 4 the first week, 5 the second week, and 4 the third week is what
Excellent. What I love though is that you're being more consistent.
Yeah,
right?
definitely. And it's, Dave always talks about it. It's just activity.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's going to force you into activity, and really 1 a day is not hard. I should do more.
Totally. Yeah. But it's not easy either. It's just simple, right? Which is different things. So how many leads have you generated over, the last week or so?
I've only generated 5 leads last week, had 4 TCAs, 4 credit pulls.
Awesome. So
2
4 for
pre-apps.
4. Awesome. Hey, by the way, look, he's not lying. 4 and 4. I went through the data. Excellent job. I like this. I like this little fact check, and this is fantastic. So what has been your biggest takeaway though of like doing the TCA more consistently with clients?
You know what? I've always been really good, I'd say, about doing it for pre-approvals, but not refinances, which I don't know why. But I mean, it's just, everything's clear, obviously, with Mortgage Coach. I've only been in self-generation for 4 years, but I came from a refi background back in 2011. And I remember I used to put together PowerPoints for clients, and Mortgage Coach has just been great. 70% of people are visual learners. So why not show them that?
That's awesome. Awesome. Love it. So I'm going to come back to you as well. Robert, how about you, bud? How's the TCA day going for you?
It's going okay. I'm not doing one religiously every day. I mean, I've done a handful. So like, if you look at the average, you could fill 1 per day, but
for sure,
it's not every day.
Awesome. And takeaways for you so far? Because you were using it already, right?
I use it for every single client. I mean, it's great. I can't imagine not using it. Being intentional about sending out TCAs, I started to take notes on like who I could call and send TCAs to, just so I could like win in the competition. And I really wanted to like totally blow it out of the water. And then obviously I fell off. So
like everyone, just so you know. Like, listen, I have people emailing me every day, just so all of you know, I'm doing a TCA competition within my branches, right? And I had to email a whole bunch of people yesterday, like, so did you die? Like last Friday, I mean, I didn't, where are the TCAs? You're supposed to send them to me every Friday. This isn't like a suggestion. If you want to be in the competition, you got to send them at the end of the week, like in all the copies of them. And so then people were scrambling and starting to send them in because discipline's easy at the beginning, right? Like think about when you're running on a treadmill, the first lap is, you're like, dude, first 400 meters, no problem, right? But as soon as you start getting into 800, 1200, 1600, you're like, I don't know if I want to run anymore. And it's the same way with any new habit that you're building, doing it consistently. Now, you're always really good at doing them in general, but do you have any takeaways from using the TCA even more consistently because of the competition?
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about this yesterday because I got a new client and they didn't send me all their documents. And so I didn't send them a TCA. And I just said, you know, I sent a pre-approval letter just to their agent because they wanted to write an offer. I knew they would qualify, but like I wanted all their docs, and I kind of hold out the goods until I get all of it, because I know that like that's what they want, right? So if I send them everything at once, then they won't give me everything that I want sometimes. So they got a little frustrated and they called the agent and blah, blah. I call them and, you know, I fell on my sword. I was like, okay, great. So it was like 7:30 last night and I sent them the TCA. And they loved it, you know, and I knew that, I always know that it's like the secret weapon that no other loan officer that I come into contact with has, just because, I don't know, you got in the competition and not many people use this software like that you compete with on a daily basis. And so I knew it was kind of a magnet thing because I knew he was talking to 2 other loan officers, right? And so once they get their eyes on that, I've even had people come back to me and be like, well, and send me other things that loan officers have sent them, spreadsheets, you know, like some Word doc they type some random stuff up on, and I'll just tell them, well, if they're not putting it together for you in a clear format that really like ties together your short and long-term goals, like, are they really advising you, and can you really rely on it? Like I put this together for you. It's got charts and graphs. It's easy to read. I've explained it to you. It has a video, and what you're forwarding me is like not even comparable. Like these are like notes on a napkin you're sending me. Like, so you got to think about, you know, you got to think about it in that perspective. And I've won people over just for that. Obviously you don't win everybody, but I don't think that if I didn't use Mortgage Coach, my conversion would be a lot lower. So
yeah, I agree. Your conversion is great, which we'll get into as well. Do you know how many leads you generated in the last week?
No, I haven't kept track of it well in the last week.
Yeah, that's no worries. So this is a great takeaway, by the way, of like tracking. This is what I'm going to get. I'm teeing everyone up just so you know, on like knowing your numbers and tracking and how important it is, right? Because I don't know your lead numbers either. I don't know any of your lead numbers unless you share them with me. But comparing that to like apps to initial apps, like just pre-approvals or whatever, to actual applications, to fundings and lock pull through is critical. Like, because then you really know where your gaps are. And I've found some really interesting data out when I went through all of your guys' stuff, and I went through my stuff too. And I think you'll be shocked by it, which is, it's good news. It's good news because we're all killing it. It's good news because we have a lot of room for improvement. Nice. So it's a double good. So thank you for that. Mr. Danny Kwan.
Gone.
You know what I love about this dude? This dude will come to my office and do site visits, and he'll do them once a month if I'd let him. And he just soaks it up, man. This guy comes in, I love it. He is like intense, and he's always wanting to learn. So how's the TCA a day going for you, man?
It's going good, and why wouldn't you sit with a master if he lets you sit with him, right? So
thank you, Grasshopper.
Okay, I must say I've been actually doing fairly well with the TCAs, except last week, and the reason why is because my LP was gone. And so just like you incentivized us, I, like Jody, incentivized my team to make me do them. And I was pretty consistent because they wanted, you know, what I said I'd give them. But when they were gone, I was just completely fell off. So that's what happened to me.
Accountability, we all need it. So no ketchup, just mustard, right?
Yep.
All gas, no brake. There's a million one-liners, right? So tell us about your TCA experience so far, because you're using it more consistently now that we started this competition than you ever have before. So what is the big takeaway for you?
Totally. So first, I was doing them totally wrong. I would do them, to me, in my mind, it was this like super elaborate long thing that took me forever. So I just didn't do them unless I really had to. I made videos for them and things like that, and I was still doing them wrong. I was making templates for every single one, not actually doing the TCA. Right. Until I sat with Jeremy and I found out, okay, I'm doing it totally wrong and it shouldn't take that long. Right. So that was a game changer. I think I've yet to use it in a sense where it is at the front end, using it as a tool. I kind of am really trying to build that habit, which is what I think is great about this contest, because I made one yesterday that literally took me like 90 seconds. And I was so proud of myself because it had all the information I needed. The clients were here. I said, hold on a second. Walked over to my desk, made one, pumped one out, printed it, put it in front of them, and they were like blown away. So I think I'm now getting the true power of this, but you know, I think this contest is great. So I'm happy.
It's awesome. So I want to share just a couple quick points of data and then come back to you all and get Deborah, Todd, and Dave involved as well. So I went through, and by the way, Walt, Jody, and Mark, I wish I could have done this for you too. I just didn't have all the data in front of me, like at the time, but the data is consistent, which is interesting to me. Okay, so here's what's the most interesting. I'm going to skip. I always like eating dessert first, so I'm going to skip to the end first, and then I'll go backwards. So average concession, okay, since we started this, average concession of these 3 people that I did have all their data for of doing this on a daily basis, literally went down by an average of 27.67 basis points. Okay, 27.67 basis points. That's huge. That's really, really, really big. And that's just measuring it from when I started it, right? Like within my teams, absolutely gigantic. What else is interesting to me is that a file to like disclose like actual real loan, like Brad, for example, you were at 38%, right? From a file start to an actual app, like disclosed a year to date. Okay, in the last 21 days since we've been starting this, you are literally at 69%. Okay, which I thought was very, very, very interesting. Same goes for Robert, for example. Year to date, initial file right to actual app disclose, like a real app, was at 44%. Okay, now in the last 3 weeks since we've been doing this, 90%. It's very, very, very interesting, right? Danny, for you year to date, right? You were at 41% file start to actual disclosed real app. In the last 3 weeks, you are at 6, 9, 12, you're at 50%. So everyone has gone up, right? Double digits at least, right? Has gone up, and they're all using TCAs more and more and more. Now, what's interesting about me, and I'm going to put myself on a mini pedestal, which I never do. I say this with no ego, but I thought the data was interesting. Okay, so my concession hasn't changed at all. I wonder why. I think it's because I literally use it like 1000% of the time, the same way every single time, right? Also, my concession amount compared to the peer group that I compared it to was an average of 29 basis points less, right? So 29 basis points less, okay, on the concession, which is huge. So I thought that those 2 things were very, very, very interesting. What else was interesting was that year to date, okay, I am at, from a file start to an actual app in process, I am at 64%. Okay, 64%. That was extremely higher. Okay, extremely higher than the peer group that I compared it to. Once again, the only thing I can point to that I do different, right, is the TCA with the videos at pre-qual, at contract, at file start for refinances. Another thing that I noticed in the data when I looked at it is that, let me just see a show of hands. How many of you don't trigger your refinances right up front, like on day 1? Yeah. I thought that might be the case, because when I was looking through the data, I noticed that my file starts, right? Because I trigger day 1 no matter what. I like using that pressure, and to get them a TCA, force myself to do one right away as pressure to get them information. So I noticed that my file starts right to actual apps is way higher because I trigger right up front on a refinance, like no matter what. So I noticed that that was a big difference as well. So Walt, with you, you said here that you did 16, 5, 6, and 5 TCAs. So where do you think that your gap for getting better is on this? Because there's a blaring obvious one for me as a coach.
Sure. Well, and some of those leads that I have are leads from Zillow. So, so some of them are Zillow leads. And I've been thinking maybe I do a TCA for them and send it out to them. I never have done that. But that's the one glaring area that I've always wondered, what can I do to help convert more of those type of leads? So yeah, otherwise coach me.
Cool. So for me, the blaring obvious. So let's go backwards though. Zillow, don't count your Zillow leads ever. Listen, and someone can say that I'm wrong. I don't care. This is my opinion and how I would coach. Do not count your Zillow leads unless you've made contact with them. It's not even a lead yet, right? If it's introduced to me from a realtor that I'm co-partnering with on something like that, that counts. It's an introduction. I got to count that as a lead, etc. But if you haven't made contact with the person, not a lead yet. It's like, yeah, it's awful. Okay, and the conversion on them are going to be terrible. Now, making a TCA for them, that might be a great idea, or a general TCA that you can send out and shoot out to a bunch of people. I think that's great. And I'd love to get Deborah's feedback on that, because she's like a one-to-many queen for sure. And I'm not, and I'm trying to learn from her on that aspect of things. But here's the blaring, the thing that jumped out to me with you is that if you had 6 pre-quals and 5 contracts, like in a week time frame, but you only did 5 TCAs, huge missed opportunity. Right? So that means that you should have had 11, right? So I'll give you an example. My motto for TCAs for all of you is that if someone is pre-qualified, they get a TCA. If someone is making an offer, they get another TCA. If someone is in contract, they get a TCA, right? If we are going to move forward and lock a loan, they get another TCA. So minimum you should have is that anyone that is either pre-approved or pre-qualified, they get a TCA automatically. They go into contract, that's another TCA. It's a really easy way for all of us to get our touches up and educate more and more and more, even to the same person, right? So every time that you have a pre-qual or something goes into contract, refinances of course as well, but I would use a TCA for that every single time, and I think you're going to see your conversion go way up. Okay, that was my takeaway for you. Jody.
Question for you, Jeremy. Are you talking about creating a brand new one, or are you talking about just updating the one you already have?
I create a brand new one. So yeah, that's a great question.
What percent would you put for you in reality, you including a video in the TCA with a purchase or refi at any of the stages you just brought up?
95+%. Yep, 95+%. The only times that I don't do a video in any of my TCAs is if like I've been drinking, or this is the truth, if I've been drinking, or if like I'm so tied up for time and like I just literally have like 8 that I have to do and I have like 20 minutes, like I might just not include a video and send them out if it's pre-approvals. But if it's for an actual refinance or if it's for an actual real deal, I mean, 100% of the time I am doing a video. I also noticed that in the subject group that I'm monitoring right now for the TCA Day challenge that I'm doing, and Brad, you can attest to this. When Brad sent me his links and attachments at first, I was like, cool on the attachments, bro. Make sure you're doing a video every single time, right? Because the video really increases conversion, gigantic. It's huge. It's absolutely huge. Okay, I could read a praise over and over and over and over again that I save from people that email me back that was like, oh my God, this is such a great way to do business. It's so clear. Thank you for the video. I have a few questions here. The video is a game changer. So I would say take the 1 to 2 minutes and do a video every single time. For sure. Great question. Jody, a question for you. One thing I noticed about yours, and which is interesting to me, is that it seems like either you and or your team are preemptively doing TCAs because there was more TCAs than like leads and deals and whatnot. So what's your strategy around that? What are you doing different?
Well, like I said, I have 2 brand new loan officers. And so when we started this challenge, they were asking, well, one of them's only closed 2 loans. One of them's closed about 10. So like, how can we do that many TCAs? So one of my newer guys has gone back to his refinances, or I'm sorry, his purchases and refinances that he did at the end of last year. And he did a TCA for each one of them, showing them how they could pay off their loan faster with like an additional 50, 100, 150, kind of depending on their price point. So he's had a really good response with that. He actually sent out 17 to past clients.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Love it. Excellent. What with your team and what they're so specifically the new LOs, because I love this idea. What are some tips you're giving them on how to go generate more TCAs out of that one strategy that you just shared? Like, who else are they doing them for? Are they doing them from a strategy one-to-many standpoint, or is it really individual?
Well, I have told them to, if it was a referral, because some of them have referrals from their financial advisors. So if it's from the financial advisor, make sure you include them on that. We've also done debt consolidation TCAs where we show them how to reinvest the savings with their financial planner and copy them on those. And then for the newer clients, I've asked them to reach out to them and ask if they have a financial planner that they can copy on it. If not, would they like a referral to a financial planner? So just trying to loop in those financial planners with the plan.
Love it. Excellent, excellent, excellent takeaways. What do you find most valuable about the total cost analysis, and why should everyone do one every day?
Where do I begin?
That's how I always feel too. That's always my.
I think it's silly that people don't do them. Dave had done an interview with Ryan Grant, and it was so funny. I made a little meme out of it because Dave was talking about someone giving a fee worksheet, and the look on Ryan's face, it was kind of a chuckle, which I feel the same way. And I made a meme out of it and I sent it to my team. It's just, you're educating them, you're giving them options, you're truly advising them. It's invaluable, and it's clear, concise. Again, I don't know why someone wouldn't do one.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. And like, why wouldn't we be sharing it with a bunch of people that don't know who we are either? This is something Deborah challenged me on. She was like, Facebook Live and do this and that. And then I just did it because I said I would as soon as I got off a call with her a couple of weeks ago. And listen, it was extremely uncomfortable. Okay. Like, I didn't even know what I was doing. I was like texting Dave. I'm like, how do you share this thing? He's like, well, I do it from Zoom. And I was like, well, I'm in Facebook and I'm in some editor thing and it just says press here. And I just did it anyway. I was like, well, we'll see what happens. Right. and I went through and did it. And here's what's a trip. Literally 3 loan applications from it, 2 locks so far. From a Facebook Live. Sharing a TCA. They didn't even see my face because I didn't do it on Zoom like I was supposed to. I had to just share my screen. So it goes to show you like how much impact that stuff can have, right? And how much influence that stuff can have out there. So Deborah, thank you for that. I super appreciate it. Deborah, Todd, Dave, any questions so far before I just keep ranting?
Hey, before I jump in, I want to make sure, Robert, you had your hand up. Did you have a quick question, buddy?
Yeah, I did. Thanks. Jeremy, you mentioned that you send people a new TCA at different points throughout the process instead of like editing the old one. Why do you do that? Because it seems, I don't understand it.
Okay, great question. So there's not a right or wrong way to do this, okay? So Mark, if you're editing one that you already did, that's fine too. For me, I love to keep all my communications separate so the videos stay with my link. Okay, so for me, when Robert, I'll give you an example. Had a client yesterday, was pre-approved, did a TCA for them like a week and a half ago, right? Went into contract, $15,000 difference in price, right? And rather than me editing it, I just go into the client and I copy the last one I did for them, and then I edit that new one. So it takes me the same amount of time to do it. I just create a whole separate TCA link because now I can show them what I like. If they want to like call me up, it's a little bit of defense, just so you know, they want to call me and say, hey, like in the first one, you said it was 2 1/4, and then this new one, you said it's 2.8, right? I can't reference the original one if I didn't copy it and create a new total cost analysis, right? So editing works live. I like editing live. If someone wants to get on the phone with me and pull up their TCA and I can go in and change stuff while they're looking at it, I do like that. But I do create a separate total cost analysis anytime anyone wants any new numbers. I have some clients where I have 21 of them under their contacts. right? And that way
Wow.
I never
So how are
lose.
you distinguishing them for yourself?
Yeah, I was gonna
And
say,
keeping
what's
that?
your, you have a labeling
Super
system,
easy.
right?
I do. Yeah, I love this. This is so fun. So my labeling system is so simple. Okay. So at the very bottom where it says, I think it says presentation. Let me see.
Mhm.
I'll just look at it real quick because I'm in Mortgage Coach at all times. So at the very bottom of the client screen, when you're in the contact, it says presentation name. And I just literally put the date.
Oh,
That's it. I'll just put the date. Sometimes I will put purchase $1 million or purchase 330, right? But really I'm looking for a date so I know when I sent them stuff. But in the presentation name, you can put anything that you want. You could put purchase price 315,000, right? You could put purchase price 350. You could put whatever you want. Refi, non-owner occupied, NOO. You'll see on a lot of mine if you look into my presentation names if I'm doing multiple TCAs for someone. But really, I'm just trying to create a system where I can have archives of what I've sent the person and keep that integrity of what I sent them in our conversation.
that's awesome. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that presentation name does not translate to the actual report.
No, it's
I
just
totally thought it
it's just internally for me.
Just, okay, cool.
Yeah.
But it shows up in the
that
pipeline
is an
view when
easy
you're
way of
looking
doing it then.
at your TCAs though, which is helpful.
Yeah,
So-
it is. It's extremely helpful.
So guys, I want to remind everybody watching this, if you're new to Mortgage Coach and you need new loan officer training, every Monday at 9 o'clock, we are training new Mortgage Coach members to create their first 20 TCAs. And we can answer workflow questions like this. And then every single Thursday at 9 o'clock Pacific, we're doing Q&A training. And there's a Mortgage Coach trainer, and we can do workflow questions like this. You know, the way Jeremy does it is a way.
Right.
You can edit, and we have got a lot of loan officers like the way Kelly Zillow does it. Literally, she does the TBD, she updates it when they get into escrow. She then updates it at the close of escrow and actually does a customer care call to the client saying, hey, we closed your loan. You know, it's updated that link. So the client just has this link and they think it's their personal website. And she starts training them on, hey, if you paid an extra $100, look at how much faster you could pay down your loan, or look at how much faster you could get out of MI. And then she does the annual review with it. So that's how Jeremy does it. There's other ways, but just remember, guys, every Thursday, 9 o'clock, we've got a trainer there. And those are also available in our YouTube channel. So a couple thoughts. So first of all, guys, I mean, Jeremy, thank you for coming in and being a coach. It's really cool seeing you wear the coaching hat. You do it well. Everybody who was so transparent with your results, thank you. We really appreciate you playing this TCA a day game. We have a little more room to have a couple more people because there was a few people that couldn't show up today. And my guess is there's going to be a few people that don't show up every Tuesday at 9 o'clock. So if you want to be a challenger and you want to go through this TCA Day challenge, private message me or email me at Dave Mortgage Coach. We are looking for seasoned professionals. This is not for new loan officers. If you're not, we're looking for people that they haven't done 100 million yet, but they're doing over 20 million. And they're trying to go to that next level, and they're trying to improve their efficiencies, be more profitable, get better conversion. So if you fit into that less than 100, more than 20 million, and by the way, guys, while not every single person hit a TCA a day, everybody is intentional that they're trying to do a TCA a day. While Walt didn't hit it, he did 5 TCAs. So if you're not willing to play that game, that's not for you. So I'll hand it to Deborah. Deborah, anything you want to say before we give it back to Jeremy? And then I'll go to you, Todd.
I was curious on where the TCAs are coming from, because I know last week Mark had shared how some of them were automated through HomeBot. And I was curious if anyone kind of reached outside their comfort zone and went after any, partners, maybe an insurance agent who has a database of renters and you asking if you can do a rent versus own analysis for them. Like, where have you stepped out of your comfort zone a bit to get new TCAs and new introductions? Or just in general, where did your TCAs come from?
I saw Deborah actually put something on the group about appreciation. And I sent that out, like almost the same thing that she showed. I sent it out to about 140 referral partners, and I got about 57 responses. So that was, or not about, I got 57 responses. So that was great.
That's incredible. Jody, I would love for you to speak on this because it sounded out of the group that you're the one who, either you personally or people on your team, loan officers, I heard financial planner 5 times. Right. So like talk about that a little bit, because I'm not doing anything. I am like blue collar mortgage coach guy. So I want to hear some white collar mortgage coach stuff.
Well, I just tell them on every TCA, they should be including someone else besides the borrower, whether it's parents that are helping guide them through the process, financial planners, CPAs. We always copy the realtors on those TCAs. We get a good response back from them, and they say, you know, nobody else is doing this. Why is nobody else providing these to our clients? So it's, you don't just send it to the clients, you send it to anyone that you can include on that as well.
Very cool. So what is response rates back on that though? So I do the same thing, right? So I'm with you on that. If a financial planner refers me, I'm including the financial planner. If a realtor refers me, and even if the realtor didn't refer me, but they're working with a realtor, I will always include the realtor on that. Do you see any uptick in either generating more conversations, partnerships from that, or actual requests for more information from a total cost analysis standpoint?
I mean, I believe that I have definitely received referrals from listing agents and from buyer's agents that weren't already working with me because of the TCA that I provided. I mean, just the response, again, like I said, nobody else is doing this. This is amazing. You know, you're really helping educate the clients. It's obviously not just a transaction. So.
That's cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
Anyone else doing anything special?
I think to double down on what Jody was just saying, CCing that secondary decision maker or that kind of financial advisor in their life, even if they're not a financial advisor, that's huge. I started doing this, and I haven't been like religious and super consistent with it, but it's certainly made a difference on the 3 that I did do, which was actually with the offer, including a mortgage coach, going over the buyer's qualifications, the ability to be able to do a lower down payment, and literally show an appraisal gap assurance strategy within it, included with the actual email that we send out with offers. And that's been massive.
And that's to the listing agent. I love that.
Yeah.
I have done that one time before, and that's a great reminder, Mark, but I've had clients that actually qualify for conventional but have chosen to go FHA because we put the numbers together.
And they can see exactly what you mean. And they're like, okay, I mean, property meets minimum standards, so why not, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Very cool. Deborah, did you have anything else to add to that? Because we're all missing the mark on that, aren't we?
Yeah, and I was going to say, and Walt and I have talked about this, where if you have a great case study of a TCA where you've shown the reinvestment strategy, especially with how cheap it is to borrow on mortgage, I almost cringe when I hear too many people, you know, putting a lot of money into a mortgage loan when if you reinvested the difference and let it compound, it's very eye-opening. So I would take that case study, I would create a video. I can help y'all package it since y'all are on this call. I will do that for free. Let's get a nice video that's branded. Send that in an email to your financial planners, and hopefully you have your database segmented of your financial planners. And I can show you how you upload that list to Facebook. You create a custom audience, and for pennies on the dollar, you can run an ad where only they see it. And that way you're hitting all of them over and over and over. It's also a great one if you upload your past clients to the same thing, create an audience, send the same thing, because there's somebody else out there who maybe is paying more towards their mortgage and they don't know they could reinvest the difference. They don't know, you know, the value of compound interest over time. And so that could create referrals to your financial planners. So don't forget about, you know, with social media and when you're running ads, I think we focus sometimes on new people and go after strangers when it's a lot easier to get resale opportunities and referrals from the people who already know, like, and trust you. So you can upload a custom audience of your past clients and referral partners, and you can run ads to them so that they're seeing you over and over and over, where the whole goal is to get referrals, not just another stranger or internet lead, but make it meaningful. And, you know, the chances of them looking at an email versus on their social media where they get how many emails a day, but if they keep seeing you over and over and over. I watched that call, Dave, last night that you interviewed Carl White a year ago, and he was talking about Facebook ad strategies and how, you know, you should really go after your database and your past referral sources. And it made me think of this, like your TCAs are perfect case studies to re-educate past clients, which, oh, by the way, did you know 1 out of 4 Americans have no idea what their interest rate is? So if I
No,
were
it's
to
so
call-
weird to me. Isn't that weird, by the way? I
I don't
talked to
know
someone
either.
yesterday and she's like, I don't really know what my loan balance
I don't know
is.
what my
I
rate
don't
is.
know what my rate is.
I
Yeah.
honestly don't know what mine is. But if I were to call
What?
Jeremy, I know.
So,
Yeah,
hey,
long
Deborah,
story.
let's help Jeremy. Let's load up Jeremy's database into
Oh,
his
God.
Facebook ad, and let's take that Facebook Live he did before, and
Yeah.
let's remarket to those people, and let's see how many more referrals he can get from that one Facebook Live he did.
I'll pay $100 to post to promote that, to see how many leads he gets, Deborah.
Yeah, you better be ready. Even if you
uh,
want
Need
to
to
up
hire them.
your blue collar game and you want to get to the white collar space, Jeremy, upload your referral sources.
Oh, you guys are giving me anxiety. So I wrote down that this is fantastic and that I should be running. I've never run an ad. I should probably definitely do this.
So,
Everybody should.
so first of all, Jeremy, this has been incredible. I mean, when we said, hey, for every Tuesday in the month of August, let's do this thing, I knew for a fact that Mortgage Coach improves conversion, and I wanted to prove that, and I wanted to help people improve their conversion. I knew for a fact that it reduces price exceptions and improves profitability. And here we are a week into it, and we're seeing that. So Jeremy, let's keep those numbers going, guys. And Deborah or I will send out an email to everybody in this group so that Jeremy can come to the next one, if he can make the next one. If Jeremy can't come, me, Todd, or Deborah. So we'll have a coach on all of these. Jeremy, as often as we can, and we'll prove that out. But I didn't think about, hey, this is going to actually improve leads. And look, we've already got ideas. Jeremy got 3 leads last week, 2 loans as a result of this whole contest. And I do think Mortgage Coach is a lead magnet. I want you to think about this, guys. When you create value for a consumer and you're showing them on a refi, the long-term value of that refi, the value of prepaying mortgage, and you have that story and you have that strategy and you broadcast it to the world, it's a lead magnet. The kind of advice that you as a mortgage coach are delivering, you're a referral magnet to agents. Like the more agents that know that, hey, there's this better way to serve your customers, you become a magnet. So Todd, before we run out of time, anything you want to add to the conversation or questions you have?
There's so many nuggets I took away from Jeremy's leadership and coaching of this call. And you already did what I think is most important, to thank this crew here for their transparency. I mean, I love that Jeremy said the little lies you tell yourself each day is what keeps you from greatness. I'd be remiss as a salesperson if I didn't talk about the fact that all the things that Jeremy is encouraging people to track are part of Win by Noon, including TCAs. So for $20 a month or $200 a year, you have a easy thing to leave on your desk and just check boxes as you go through the day. So when your coach or your accountability partner asks you for your numbers, you don't need to spend a ton of time going anywhere because you've already got it day in and day out. But I really think the key is to ask yourself these questions, right? If you're on this call and you don't have Jeremy asking you these questions, you need to ask them to yourself and find someone else that you can have as an accountability partner. And ultimately, in the end, there's 17 ideas you probably got from here. We're all taking notes. I've got notes for my team. And just the little bits that we've got here, you just got to take action with it, right? I mean, ketchup, not mustard, right? If you get busy being busy, then you're never going to get it done. And you've got to figure out when that time is. I would say it's in about 10 minutes when we end this call, just to sit down and spend the next 30 minutes to an hour and figure out what you can implement going forward. And it may just be you need to do your first TCA. It may just be that you need to say, okay, today I'm going to do 1 and here's my time to do it. Because in the end, this is a group of people who are definitely crushing it, and you should be crushing it too.
Yep.
So Jeremy,
agree.
before I pass it back to you, I want to keep this call dedicated to this, the TCA a day mortgage loan officer conversation. But I want to remind guys, this contest that we're doing, one side of this poster that you get at Win by Noon is for loan officers, and it's a TCA a day. And the other side, guys, is for realtors, and it's a CMA a day, which if a TCA is a high value loan officer activity that improves loans and profits, a CMA a day is a high value activity that a realtor can do.
Yep.
It gets them listings and creates value. So I want you to make sure you guys know we created a playbook last week. So, and we edited the, 2 weeks ago, Jeremy and Deborah did 7 minutes of scripting on how to do a CMA a day. That's in the YouTube channel. Also want to remind you guys, if you have not got yourself the wall poster, Jeremy purchased 200 of them. He handed out 50 to his loan officers. As you can see, he's got 3 to 4 loan officers on this going through the TCA Day Challenge. And then he's got 150. Jeremy, have you given any of those out, or have you had any?
I 100% have not. It's in a big box sitting right here. The day after I got them, I went on vacation for a week, and this on my list of things to do. So you guys will get them. I have them all. Literally, I can see them right there in a big giant box. So I want to remind everyone of something. A CMA is a TCA for a realtor. Literally, a CMA is a TCA. So on one of my CMA conversations with the realtor, okay, I explained to them that, listen, it's the same as the total cost analysis that I do for all of your clients. Okay. And they're like, well, what data should I put in there to make it sticky? And then I brought up my HomeBot, and I was like, well, let me give you some ideas, because I don't know if you know, but in HomeBot, it says, if you sold your house, you'll have this much, money, and you could do A, B, C, or D, right? Fund your retirement, move up and buy X, buy an investment property. So showing them that stuff is really, really important, right? So just remember that if you're struggling with, like, what do I call a realtor about? The CMA a day is the same exact thing as a total cost analysis. It's just for the real estate side. And they have to show them what they can do with all of that. Just like your house is worth this is a crap CMA. Okay, that's what Zillow's for.
Yeah, and remember, guys, part of the challenge and another way to get another TCA a day is for every CMA that one of your realtors creates, you're going to do a move up analysis, and you're going to show that family column A is stay in the house. Let's see what things are. Column B is you move up, and how much more, because remember, it's a more expensive home, and they probably think it's going to appreciate. It is going to appreciate. They're going to see their net worth increase, and they're going to build wealth with real estate. And guys, there's a lot of folks that have a lot of equity. They could buy that move up home, so they actually have a bigger home, dream home, and they could take some of that money and either put it in the bank where it earns interest, or they could take that money and recast their payment and buy it down and actually get a bigger home with less payment. So remember, do a move up analysis, and that gives you another TCA a day for every CMA a day. Anything you want to add to that, Jeremy?
No.
Let me throw some in real quick, if you don't mind. Tammy Kranich, who's on vacation and wasn't here, I did she's doing a mastermind just like this, and I'm jumping on with her each week. So if any of you are going to get on with your real estate agents, I'm happy to try to schedule and jump on with you. But the biggest revelation she had yesterday was that one of her agents who is doing a CMA a day got her a refinance. So think about that. All the more reason to be helping your real estate agents. You're thinking, oh, maybe down the road in 60 or 90 days or in a year, it's going to get me a purchase application for her. It got her a refinance that's already rolling.
Sweet. So Jeremy, we got 6 minutes left. Why don't you go ahead and take us home, brother?
Well, I really just would love to go around the horn, and if I want to be helpful. So if any of you have a specific question about your TCAs, how you're using them, whatever, how could I be more effective, an issue or a challenge that you have with them sometimes, I would love to answer those questions. And the last thing that I just want to point out is that when I ran all these numbers of the data for the people that I had access to, and then I compared them to mine, there's really not a gigantic difference. The biggest difference is that I generate way more opportunities. So I love going back to the fact that Mortgage Coach is a lead generation opportunity. Total cost analysis is a lead generation opportunity. I had 542 file starts year to date, 347 loan applications submitted year to date, and then 390 locks, okay, year to date, which is more than applications submitted because there's December, of course, and there's rollover and stuff like that. But those numbers are huge. That's 87%, right? Like a lock rate, and that's gigantic. All right, from like an application standpoint. When I went through everyone else's, I was kind of giving myself too much credit. I go, I bet you I crushed these guys, right? And I was wrong. So the data, what I love about math is that it's either right or wrong, like, because numbers never lie, right? So like Brad is at 96% app to lock rate. Okay, 96% app to lock rate year to date. These are people that use Mortgage Coach, right, all the time. Robbie's at 94%. Right? App, real app, like disclosed, all that stuff in process to lock rate. Danny, you're at 72%. Those are all incredible numbers, right? From an app to lock rate standpoint. The only difference I'm seeing is that I'm asking more people if I can give them a total cost analysis. That's it.
Jeremy, what's the network? Because everybody you mentioned is a mortgage coach. They're using a TCA. What's the average for your region, or for out of the 56 loan officers that you have, what's the average on those numbers?
You know what I'll do is I'll pull it up as I answer questions here. So let's go around the horn because I can actually pull that data up.
Well,
Well,
any questions you have for
Yeah.
Jeremy as he goes around the horn, and he'll share those numbers at the end.
I don't have any questions. Just, thanks, Jeremy, for shining the light on some areas of improvement, and that's always important. So thank you.
yeah, no, my pleasure, man.
Jody, any questions or comments for Jeremy?
Just thank you so much for joining us today. It was truly an honor to be coached by you. And I have so many ideas. I'm so excited. And Deborah's ideas about the Facebook, I'm going to be reaching out to you for sure. So thanks again, guys.
Right on. Mark, any questions or comments for Jeremy?
Man, thank you so much, Jeremy. I've been watching you for years. Pleasure to see you in action and love everything you bring to the entire space. Man, like Jody just said, I have so many different ideas, and I've had the idea of running ads and targeting and specifically agents. And I think that's where the biggest power and opportunity is. I'm excited to keep the challenge going. I'm excited to keep pumping up the numbers. And now I'm excited with Jeremy's blessing that now each client's going to get 4 TCAs instead of 1. So
Love that. Remember, guys, we'll be back next Tuesday. Think of Tuesday as TCA Tuesday. Come here. If you're not a participant, we think this is valuable for everybody. And remember, guys, use a TCA as a loan magnet every single Tuesday in your social post. Daniel, any questions or comments for Jeremy?
I took away so many good nuggets. I can't wait to get off so I can get some TCAs out.
All right, well, what's one? Let's not be broad strokes here, people.
CMA day, that's blowing my mind.
There you go.
Link
So
it into the CMA day. Yeah.
that's all I want you to focus on. Okay, bro?
Robert Ring, you got anything, brother?
I just wanted to say I'm grateful for Jeremy. I've been working for Jeremy for 4 years now, and it's not all the time that you'll work for a manager in the mortgage business that is a producer, and let alone like a producer at a really high level. So that makes a huge difference. You influenced me to do a lot more business and to do business a lot differently than I'd ever done it before. And just on this note, the integration of Mortgage Coach, he forced me to start doing videos with every single one. I used to be pretty lazy about it. So, I'm grateful for you, bro. Thank you.
Love you.
Brad Hall, close it out, and then Jeremy's going to share a stat. What you got, Brad?
I just want to piggyback about Jeremy. He's great. And one thing I love about Jeremy is he always simplifies everything. There's a lot of noise in this industry and people telling you to do multiple things. But he has a keen way of just simplifying the process. And I really appreciate that.
God, I didn't know it'd be such a love fest for me. Getting all emotional.
By the way, that's a really good point. How simple you make things. So Jeremy, did you find those stats yet?
I sure did, man. So this is a trip. So average, if I took out all of the people that I know of that basically I pay like for Mortgage Coach, right? Like within the region, take that subject group out, and their average file start rate, so disclose to lock rate, is 62%.
Wow.
So literally our focus group is 28% higher than that.
Wow.
If you were to average it out, 28,
That's
almost
ridiculous.
30%.
That's insane, brother. And hey, I know you probably can't calculate this live, but would you email me what it is?
Yeah.
Price exception, because you kind of identified.
Oh no, I
how
can do
many
that right
things-
now.
Oh, okay. I'll
Yeah.
wait. I'll wait for it.
I love this. I have these little models built out. It's so fun. I look at it all the time.
So
Um,
for every manager listening to this right now, guys, if you did this TCA a mastermind challenge, or you got loan officers to watch this call and play this game, we're talking about a 28% increase in
mhm.
your conversion.
Yep.
I mean, what's that worth? I mean, that is a multi-million-dollar
Yep.
advantage that you have. And that does not, guys, include the profitability advantage. We haven't even got to that yet. I've never had a study done where mortgage coach loan officer versus non-mortgage coach loan officers weren't at least 9 basis points more profitable.
Okay, so
And I-
check this out. I can just compare the four of us, because it's easy for me to do that. The four of us on this call, year to date, there was an average concession. Brad was at 45 basis points average weighted concession. Now keep in mind, there's 20 basis points concession budget built in, so really it's 25, right? So 5 basis points off target, excellent, right? Robert was at 33, okay? Danny, we gotta work on you a little bit, bro. Was at 99.4, was at 60, and I was at 19. Okay, so compared though, check this out. Remember, there's concession. So you have to take all this with a grain of salt, because there's a 20 basis point concession budget that I build in, right? But outside of that, it doesn't mean that you just lose money, right? If you go under that, because my margins are higher on government loans than they need to be. I just find it easier to tell everyone what they know that they can get a concession for, rather than me changing the margins all the time whenever we have compression up and down. Okay, so take it with a grain of salt. But compared to the same subject group on the overall, we are averaging, taking these people out, 99.41. So that would be a difference of 16, 17 basis points.
Got it. And so guys, think about that. And Jeremy, who does a TCA day, he's done almost 100 TCAs this month already, or no, past 30 days, is at 19. And the average LO in his platform is 5 times. So
Yep.
literally 5 times more profitable. And the average in your group is 3 times more profitable. So if you're a manager listening to this, this is not abnormal. This is not unusual. This is what the value mortgage coach brings. So hopefully we'll see more of these TCA a day masterminds popping up all throughout the industry, all throughout our clients. And Jeremy, dude, thanks for being the quarterback of this one. You're invited every Tuesday at 11, but when you can't make it, we'll have someone fill in, bro. Take care,
Okay.
everybody.
Thanks,
This
guys.
is
See
a
you guys.
wrap. Share this with your mortgage friends. Share this with your managers. And if you got value, give it a like below. Take care, everybody.
Peace out, homies.
Y'all.
Take care, y'all.